I'm Bishop Darrell Watkins, and let's queer up politics. Pentagon ordered to restore queer books and lessons in military schools. A federal judge in Virginia has ruled against a Trump administration policy that banned LGBTQ books and lessons from schools serving military families, stating the policy likely violated students' First Amendment rights. EK v. Department of Defense Education Activity presented a challenge from the families of 12 students who argued that 3 executive orders by Trump banning content that discussed what he called gender ideology and, quote, divisive equity concepts, end quote. The Department of Defense argued that the school libraries were not subject to First Amendment protections due to the legal concept of, quote, government speech, end quote, a doctrine that shields government communication from compliance with the First Amendment. ACLU Spokesperson Emerson Sykes issued a statement after the ruling saying, quote, "This is an important victory for students in DoDEA schools and anyone who values full libraries and vibrant classrooms. The censorship taking place in DoDEA schools as a result of these executive orders was astonishing in its scope and scale, and we couldn't be more pleased that the court has vindicated the First Amendment rights of the students this has impacted," end quote. I am so glad for this. I'm glad that one court at a time is sort of stepping up, one little protest at a time,
yes,
one comedian at a time,
yes.
one sermon at a time, that we're doing all that we can from every angle to resist what is honestly, and I think it's like the frog that's in the water that gets hotter and hotter and hotter and doesn't realize. I don't think we realize how much trouble we're in, because they've turned up the temperature so gradually, but it's hot. Yep. It's hot now, y'all.
It's still hot. Yeah.
It's super hot.
What about all of those journalists who walked out of the Pentagon?
Yes.
That phrase that you said, government speech, is not required or to comply with the First Amendment?
Yeah. Right. Hello.
I mean, that's clearly what they've been doing,
right.
But to just have it like spelled out like that.
Basically, it was a loyalty oath.
That is true.
That's not, this is not.
And by executive order to remove books and film. And here's what is bothering me so much is that if it's politically motivated, or if it's culturally about a certain kind of group, or if it's basically, if it ain't white, male, straight, and evangelical Christian, they want to clamp it down. And so this is not only censorship, but this is censorship in service of authoritarianism.
Yeah.
And only because I get a little squeamish, do I not call it Nazism? Do I not call it dictatorship or whatever? But
it's all those.
I'm saying
it is, and I'm tired of how they're using the trans community right now as a punching bag since the Charlie Kirk death. And I bring that up because they use this. The trans and ours as a distraction, or as a projection, because at that service for that person at Kirk's service, they had Grindr crashing. They always using either they're projecting, they're hating, or using us as a distraction. In this case, this administration is both.
Yes,
there's people who are they're disgusted by us, but also have internal issues with themselves.
Exactly,
and. It's all playing out right there.
And that's classic bullying behavior. But on a government level, find the fewest people that can stand together, like the smallest group, and bully them because you assume that no one else is going to stand up with them, and that is just,
they're demonizing the lowest 1%. I don't mean.
No.
People they perceive as weak.
We're always here, but we're not
the smallest 1%, and propping up the 1% of the billionaires.
And this is
and that's the 1% we should be talking about.
They've gotten so
not the people trying to live their lives hand to mouth.
They don't even hide it though. Remember, you always got the subtext. You could always figure out the dog whistle. They're just telling you.
They're not hiding it anymore. No. That's the part that I actually kind of like, because they're projecting, they're showing their heart on this sleeve, and like I said, we have the numbers. We have people standing up.
It does make it easy to know who not to support.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And cruelty is never patriotic. So if you think you're doing a good thing by being mean to people, by trying to ruin their lives or erase their lives, that's not patriotic. That's not even being a good person. So maybe look at that for a minute. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.